Okay, everyone, new week, new you, new goals. You're not going to be fat anymore. You're going to make more money. Probably could have worded that better, but you get the idea. Breaking news, super excited about this. Just got back from a work trip to Idaho. I found Jefferson's Reserve up there, and I'm really excited about this. You will notice that the bottle is completely full. It's because I have not tried it yet. That is because I have to hit the road right after I'm done filming this, and that's a no-no, kids. So very excited about that. I'll report back next week with that. And then I wish this was an ad as if I was being sponsored, but I'm not. But I did get this in over the weekend, tried it last night. It's basically a cheat sheet for those of us who want to make an old fashioned, and they have a bunch of different flavors of it. It is called Proof Old Fashioned Cocktail Syrup, and it is really delicious, makes a great drink, and it's really easy. And people like me can figure out how to make a very nice mixed drink without having to go to a lot of trouble. So they are welcome to sponsor our channel that has 160 subscribers. Send that cash, guys. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Not a whole lot of news to report this week, but I will give you just a couple of things here. So first of all, pending home sales are down 1.8% from July to June. Now, that would be pending, right? So that is not actual home sales. He's going to drop any second. Yep, there it goes, right? See, we know each other very well. It's pending home sales, right? So that is not actual home sales because some of those will fall through. But obviously, pending sales are an indicator of what will be closed or final home sales over the next, kind of 4 to 6 weeks type period. So they're down a little bit from July to June. No real cause for concern there for me. And you have to keep in mind, guys, when I just give you my little tidbits here, I'm not a forecaster of markets or anything. I just try to kind of use my experience on the ground and just kind of give you guys what it is that I feel about it. Relatively straightforward. So it's down, at least in a place like I live in Utah, not uncommon at all. A lot of the big moves are happening in the first half of summer as opposed to the second half of summer, just because they are trying to do that while the kids are out of school. And hey, the later summer goes on, the closer we are to kids going back to school. It's not going to be the case everywhere, but it's the case where I live. So no real cause for concern there. In July, mortgage rates fell by a pretty good margin, actually. So they started the month in July at 3.18%. At the end of the month, they were at 2.84%. That's a good drop. That's a good drop. And in case you're ever like, why does the mortgage or the interest rate thing matter so much? Well, what that does is, hey, if you said my budget currently with a 3.18% interest rate, my budget is $400,000 in order to keep my payment at this payment amount. Hey, if that interest rate drops, it's going to drop your payment for that same purchase price. So that either means you can get the same house you were looking at for less per month, or you could buy more house to have your payment stay the same. That's kind of a bro science version of how that translates. So no real noteworthy news, but just FYI, mortgage rates dropped last month. Inventory starting to open up a little bit. That seems to be the case everywhere, including Utah. It's certainly not good inventory right now, but it is opening up a tidbit or tad bit, however the verbiage goes there. Part of that is because people have, some first-time buyers especially have gotten frustrated, and they just said, man, it's too competitive. We don't want to play this game. We're just going to sit it out for a little bit. So there's less people in the buyer pool by a little bit, which is part of the reason that inventory is seeming like it's more. It probably wouldn't feel like it's more inventory if everyone was still in that buyer pool, but the buyer pool's thinning out just a little bit. I'm perfectly fine with inventory opening up, and that would be a good thing. I think we should all celebrate that. Minus if you're selling your home, you're probably like, oh man, more inventory. I don't get 43 offers that are $75,000 over the listing price. But yeah, that had gotten a little out of hand. Still not good, but getting a little bit better. Pending sales from July of this year compared to July last year were down 8.5%. Now that might sound like, man, July pending, again, sales down 8.5% year over year. That might sound like really bad news. It's really not, because again, if you just apply a little bit of logic here, in July of last year, the sales were sky high because we had a period of like April, May where nothing was happening because everyone was freaked out inside their house and no one was selling their house. So, hey, June and July, those numbers were way inflated because like all that pent up demand that didn't get sold April, May, we're starting to translate into June and July sales. So it may sound like, oh, that's a problem, but it's not, because you have to factor in where we were 12 months ago. And then a good bit of news here. The Supreme Court struck down the eviction ban. Now, I made a video on this, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, saying it's just an asinine situation with the eviction ban, and that Biden himself, this isn't like you have to go to the dark web to find videos of this. It's pretty easy to find him going, we don't know if this is going to hold up in court, but we're going to go for it anyway, which one should terrify you that that's what the president is doing. But number two, should make you feel a little bit better that the Supreme Court did look at the eviction ban and they said, no, that is not legal, and we are throwing that bullshit out. If you live in a super liberal state, however, no problem. Renters can still mooch off of the people that actually own the property. So if you're in California, New Jersey, Illinois, and or the DC bubble, God rest your soul, the eviction ban is still in place. So that is a win. I don't care, there's probably a few people that would watch this that would debate me on it, but there's just, that's good news. That's good news. Landlords have to get paid again. That's great. And hey, look, there's some talk. I'm not placing a lot of faith in it yet. We'll keep an eye on it. But there's some, a guru or two who's like, oh, the housing market is inflated and it's all going to crash, yada yada yada. I'm not feeling that yet. Like, yeah, I do think it's inflated. Housing prices have been like pretty out of control, and it's definitely been a heavy seller's market. But I'm certainly not at a place where I'm going, oh, the whole thing's about to crash and you should just, not do anything for the 6 months and the next 6 months and just wait for the thing to crash. I'm not in that boat. I'm still like, hey, go ahead and buy something. Again, from my perspective, just being on the ground, I think it's starting to fizzle out a little bit in terms of how competitive it was. So if you listed your house 3 months ago and you were getting 20 offers, hey, now you're probably getting a few, but not necessarily 20. And you're probably getting over your listing price, but not necessarily 50 grand over your listing price on a normally priced house in America. So I think it's starting to chill a little bit. I'll certainly keep reading the news and kind of just forming my opinion based on what I'm reading, but I'm not certainly not at a point where I'm like, oh, the whole thing's about to come tumbling down. Not feeling that. It could, we could hypothetically have a little bit of a dip, but I don't think it would be like catastrophic dip where everyone is now in a suicidal state. So, hey, that's just my 2 cents, everyone. Listen to smarter people than me. That would be my disclaimer. So I hope you guys are well. If you get some, entertainment or education out of this channel, subscribe to it. It really helps when you get down in the comments, because that shows YouTube that you care about the things that we say. I say we because sometimes he grunts on camera and or shows me his nuts, which is just a nice, it's just a nice thing to do to your friend. So there's that. If you guys need real estate help, you can always reach out. We're based here in Utah, but we have referral partners and things in a lot of different states, and we've got lenders that can help you guys out regardless of what state that you live in. So if you ever need help, reach out. That's why we're here. That's why we do this, to actually, try to have a business out of it. So we'll have the website linked below for that. All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. We'll bring you some more breaking freaking news as it comes out, and we'll see you soon.